Okay, kids, here's another problem for your homework tonight. This one is found on page 85. This one is number 28. It's the last one to do on your homework. It's pretty heavy duty, but I think this is a great one. This is a good one to do here. So here's the compound. It's cobalt, subscript 3, arsenate, AsO4, subscript 2. And it wants to know what's the percent composition. Okay, it wants to know what the percent of cobalt, arsenic, and oxygen in this particular compound. What is the percent of each one of them? So what I do is I'm going to break it down, and these subscripts play a big role. They play a major role in the percent composition, so make sure that you include them. So let's get started. I'm going to start by kind of finding out the molecular mass, but I'm going to use the atomic mass of each one of them. So first of all, like I said, there's 3 cobalts, and so that's really important, so I'll start there. 3 cobalts. Each cobalt is 58.9 grams per mole. If I multiply 3 times 58.9, I end up getting 176.7 grams per mole. Alright, then the next one here is arsenic. There's 2 of them. Use that subscript, 2As. Alright, and for that one, here it is, 74.9 grams per mole. And again, I have to multiply by 2 this time because there's 2 of them. So 74.9 times 2, it's 149.8 grams per mole. Alright, and then the last one is oxygen. Says that there's 4 in the compound for arsenate. However, there's a subscript of 2, meaning that this whole compound is doubled. We doubled the arsenic, so the oxygen needs to be doubled as well. And so there's a total of 8 oxygens. And each oxygen is 16.0 grams per mole. Alright, when I multiply 8 times 16, I get 128.0 grams per mole. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is add these up, and I get a big total here. I get 454.5 grams per mole of this compound, CO3 arsenate. Okay, so I'm going to need a new page because what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down each element. I need each element to show you the percent of each one. So here's what it's going to look like, and I'm going to bounce back and forth between these pages. So I'm going to start off with the cobalt. Like, what's the percent cobalt in this compound? How do we figure that out? So I'm going to go back to this other page really quick. So look at this other page here. It says there's a total mass of cobalt of 176.7. You need this total here. Make sure you don't use just for one. Use for all 3. 176.7. And I'm going to divide it by 454.5, the total, to give me the percent composition. So let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so like I said, the total of the cobalt in the compound is 176.7 grams per mole divided by 454.5 grams per mole. Alright, and then remember, after this gives me a decimal, and I need to multiply by 100% to give me the percent. So then this percent composition ends up being 38.9% cobalt. Alright, cool. So the next one up is the arsenic. Alright, so then I'm going to go back to the other page and take a look. Here it is. There's 2 of them, and the total is 149.8. And again, I'm going to take the total mass of that element divided by the total molecular mass. So here we go. I'm going to go back to our page. So the total for the arsenic was 149.8 grams per mole, and I'm going to divide it by the total mass, which is 454.5 grams per mole. I'm going to multiply this by 100% again, and when I do this, I end up getting 33.0% arsenic. Okay, we're almost done. We have the oxygen. And if you add these up, remember at the end we're going to add them all up and they should equal 100%. And if there's one that you could do right now, you want to kind of guess, you can add these two up and you could say, oh, I wonder if this should be, oh, I don't know, I guess around 70, then the other would have to be close to 30 and kind of get a ballpark. And that's always good. I like to kind of figure that way out so that you always know you're doing the right thing. It's kind of a check system, and we're going to do that too at the end anyways. So for oxygen, here it is. The total oxygens, there's 8 of them, it's 128, and I'm going to divide by 454. So let's do that right now. 128.0 grams per mole, and I'm going to divide it by 454.5 grams per mole. And again, I'm going to multiply by 100%, and this gives me 28.2% oxygen. It is pretty close to 30, so we're on the right track. And if you wanted to, before you say, oh, this is my final answer, add them up. They should be at 100%, or at least close to it. And when I add these up, they're 100.1%. And so I know it's right in that ballpark. So these are very good numbers. I have confidence in these numbers. So cobalt 38.9%, arsenic 33%, and oxygen 28.2%. And that's it. That's the end of the problem. You're done. And if you've gotten this far, you're all done with your homework. Oh, and so have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow in class.